Now on to 1991's Puppet Master 3. I mean, they're firing these things out almost, and this one really takes a departure from the first two, and I quite like the idea behind this. We jump back to the 40s, to Nazi occupied land, as we have Toulon with his puppets, and how he became such a jaded man, and how he created these colour puppets at times as well. And we're introduced to a new one yet again, which is Six Shooter, an old kind of cowboy with 6 arms, 6 revolvers, who's always giggling and laughing throughout the movie. We get Guy Rolfe, Richard Lynch, some other great characters in this one as well, directed by David de Cockatoo, and it's just an incredibly weird and fun prequel movie. Going back to that time really breaks the mold from the first one and creates its own thing, because we've got an origin story of our main character as to why he became so jaded, to understand the machinations of his wife and how she was kind of robbed from him within the movie, to see him turn from somebody that wanted to entertain kids and be fun with kids and just show a nice slice of life type thing, who was ultimately pulled and pushed by these Nazi scum and turned into a vengeful killing machine. And that's where the movie becomes really fun, as Toulon starts to plan his revenge and get his little minions to do the dirty deeds for him. And of course, it's still lo-fi in certain aspects, but it has a good production standard. It's minimal sets. They are a little bit sparse, but it still creates that mood. And Richard Lynch is the bad guy. It is wonderful. Great actor. I really do like him in things. He can be extremely menacing and threatening. There's a moment later on with him and the puppets in Toulon with some hooks that's wonderfully grotesque. This one seems to up the ante on a lot of the blood and the gore, and it just felt fun. It'd be interesting to see this movie in black and white, to see how it kind of played with the aesthetic of being a mid-40s war movie as well. It'd be just a nice touch to see that. But we get all our puppets back, even the ones that were lost in the part 2, and a reason as to why these puppets are so lifelike and what imbues this doll, what makes it tick. They're still a little bit fast and loose with the whole mechanics of the thing, of what exactly keeps these puppets going. Do they need constant top-ups, as it starts to allude in this one, which wasn't really in part 1 and was hinted at in part 2. But I still think they're churning these things out every year. So it's 89, 90, 91 for part 3. But they're not really losing any quality as yet. They're still telling interesting and fun stories. Even when you get to the end of part 3, it's already advertising part 4 is coming next, which is absolutely mind-boggling, which I think was probably the last time I kind of checked out these was 1 to 3, and I don't know if I went any further than that before. But I kind of liked some aspects of the movie, but there were some parts that were just really grating and unnecessary. Like the little kid part and his aggrieved father just felt really tropey and typical, and felt like a contrivance to get from point A to point B later on in the movie, when we just need that to kind of show up. I kind of liked the hideout they had, which was a bombed building, or supposed to be that. It was really nice production values throughout the movie. I'm really kind of surprised by part 3 and how much it holds up. I prefer parts 1 and 2, which is purely preference. But for me, all 3 of these movies are roughly on a par. I think they're really entertaining, really fun. They're creating new characters and adding to the group of puppets all the time. And I'm actually kind of curious about moving on to part 4 now, which I'm not sure I've ever seen. But I'd love to know your thoughts on Puppet Master part 3. What did you think going back and telling a prequel story, going to this Nazi occupied area as they're just running rampant and being killed by the puppets? So you're actually cheering the puppets on this time to kill these Nazis. Who doesn't want to see a Nazi die? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man v Film.